The game in this episode of my 8-Bit Battle series comes courtesy of a tweet that I saw from Neil, who runs the RMC YouTube channel. If you've been living under a rock for the last few years and have no idea who he is, I'll put a link in the description, but I'm pretty sure most of you do. The only game his mum liked on his AMSTRAD CPC when he was a wee lad was Ocean's Hunchback. Apparently the museum he owns and runs did not have a copy, so she purchased one from eBay as a gift to her son from someone who turned out to be a big fan of Neil's and a subscriber to the channel. The whole thing was very heartwarming, but also got me thinking. If she loved the Amstrad version so much, was it better than the Spectrum version, which was the only version I played and adored when I was younger? And then what about the C64 one? Is that any good? And yes, it's a fairly basic Pitfall-esque type of game, but I think it's an interesting one to compare nonetheless. Originally an arcade game by Century Electronics in 1983, there are a number of rumours online that the game was originally supposed to be a Robin Hood Pitfall type game. One rumour suggests it was changed to Hunchback because it was too similar to Pitfall, but they ran out of time to make a number of changes, which is why Commodore is wearing green, and a lot of the elements of the game resemble the Robin Hood era more than the Hunchback one. The other rumour was that the original game designer left the company and developers that picked the game up thought the main character had a hump and jokingly looked more like Hunchback than Robin Hood. So bells were added and a new game was born, using the original character still in his green outfit. I kind of hope this one was true because that is a great story. As far as the home ports go, this was the first licensed arcade port for Ocean, so it was quite a big deal for them. It's possible that this was largely down to the fact that Century Electronics and Ocean were both situated in the Manchester region here in the UK. The game was a big hit on European 8-bit platforms and was fairly unknown everywhere else. Although Hunchback was Century's biggest hit, it wasn't big enough to attract attention for the Nintendo or Atari market that were big overseas. So let's crack on with Hunchback, and let's start with the version that started this video, the AMSTRAD CPC. Okay, so one decent fair crack at each one decent game. And on the Amstrad that means not very long gameplay at all, because this is the quickest game of all three. Apparently Quasimodo moves a good 2 seconds quicker from one side of the screen to the other than the Commodore and Spectrum version. So yeah, he moves at a fair old speed. These are the instructions. And off we go. So yeah, look at him go. It does mean you can finish these screens very, very quickly. A little bit of slow down on this one, but a relatively easy jump. No three-dimensional angles on any of the jumps here, which makes them quite easy to determine how far you've got to go. And Quasimodo jumps quite high in this version, but there's no changing of direction once you've committed to a jump, unlike the other two versions where you can change direction mid-air. But these jumps, although I just died there, these jumps are considerably easier in this version. Get past my flashing Robin Hood arrow. And off we go. It's almost like the guys with the big prongs there don't actually make a difference if they've got them up or not. This level's quite tricky because you have to press up and then along. And this is as far as I got. This was my best game. I couldn't get past the 2 flashing arrows. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable little arcade experience. Actually quicker, a lot quicker than the arcade version. And more fun as well, I'd say. So yeah, that was good. Right, Spectrum next. Okay, so here's the title screen for Hunchback on the Spectrum. You can see there the author, Christian, I think it's Urquhart, but I might be wrong, who also went on to do some other games, including Daley Thompson's Decathlon, and also worked with David Thorpe, or Frederick David Thorpe, and Bob Wakelin, who both went on to do loads of other graphic illustrations for loads of games that you definitely played. So yeah, definitely an historic game for many reasons, this one. So there's Teddy Bear's Picnic. So that's one up on the Amstrad version already. But look at Quasimodo. He seems to... it's quite a nice big character, isn't he? But he seems to tiptoe. I don't know if he's wearing heels. He looks like he's wearing heels, actually. But yeah, it's quite nicely animated. The jumps here on the Spectrum version are horrendous. There's no other way of putting it. They are horrible. The knight, there's the very small child knight behind you as well doesn't hang about. But he's a lot shorter than Quasimodo. But yeah, because of the 3D effect on the turrets, it's also very easy to muck these jumps up. But I, like a lot of AMSTRAD owners and C64 owners back in the day, loved this game. Absolutely loved it. It's very simple. I'm going to make this one. Oh, that was close. Oof, that was luck more than anything. And as with the Commodore version and not with the AMSTRAD version, you can change direction when jumping on this as well. Oh, got my super bonus. The Teddy Bear's Picnic tune. Oh, come on. See, that's what annoys me. When you definitely make that jump and it tells you didn't. The Teddy Bear's Picnic tune every time you die or change levels gets pretty annoying quite quickly. And only three lives on this one? So this one's the harshest with lives. And the Commodore one is the most forgiving with 5. Gonna make this? Yes. You just know when you've made that. I'm not going to look at this screen. That's a stupid jump. That's my last life. See with that sort of weird flicker when he dies, look. But yeah, that's it. That's the Spectrum version. Right, I'm going to put my name in. And then we'll try the Commodore one. Okay, title screen is just missing Esmeralda and Quasimodo, and it's the arcade version. That's pretty nice. By J Steele. I'm not sure went on to do many other games. Oh my god, this is brilliant. That's so cool. We saw different levels as well going past. Well, no, not necessarily the levels that we're going to see in that order, but still. And look at the animation when he jumps. So again, it's quicker than the arcade version. Although I have watched a video of the actual arcade one running, because apparently it runs quite slowly in MAME. And of course I haven't got the real arcade machine here. Oh, come on. I feel like we've got more time with the knight as well on this one, but look at that jump animation. That is brilliant. I love that. And the way it scrolls to the next one rather than just flick screens across is really nice. You got the 3D turrets, but the jump just seems more defined than the Spectrum one. You just feel like you're going to make it. If you know what I mean. With the Spectrum one, you're never sure whether you've timed it right. The knights look really cool here as well. Yeah, I mean, I'd have to play, I couldn't say categorically, but I'd have to play the arcade version on an arcade machine, I think, because I don't think MAME properly does it justice if it's got issues. But so far, I would go as far to say, oh, that was a bit harsh, that this is better than the arcade version, which doesn't happen often with 8-bit home ports. Just wait for this fireball to go past. I'm guessing they're fireballs, but they're purple. So I'm never really... Oh, nice. See how long it's taken that night to come up? On the Spectrum, it'd be right up your bum by now. And this is just about as quick as the Spectrum one as well. But obviously nowhere near as fast as... Oh, that's harsh. Okay, so can I move forward and jump a little bit? No. Maybe I just jump up in the air. Ah, oh, it's very quick after that get ready. Come on. Oh, made it. 5 lives in this one. If the arcade version had a dip switch for between 3 and 5 lives, so the Commodore one went for the maximum amount of lives, which is nice. But I have to say, I am really enjoying this. It's got much more of an arcade feel about it. I mean, the AMSTRAD one is quite arcadey. It's very, very quick. This is... The speed of this fireball, though. Okay, I knew I was going to muck that up. And that's me. Okay, so that's all 3 versions of Hunchback played. So which one is the best one? So in 3rd place is the AMSTRAD version. Yes, I know. It was all about the AMSTRAD version and it came 3rd. What can you do? But why did it come 3rd? Well, presentation. I mean, there wasn't much of a title screen. There was no real intro. Pretty basic. So I gave it 6 out of 25 for that, which is about as low as I'm going to give anything, really. Graphically, it's okay. It looks like a lot of other AMSTRAD titles. It's very colourful, but a little bit blocky. But it's alright. So 13 out of 25 for that. Sound is pretty non-existent. I was a bit disappointed with the sound on this one. No Teddy Bear's Picnic and just the odd beep and boop here and there. So yeah, not that great on sound. But playability, I loved this one for playability. So I gave it an 18 out of 25. It moves so quickly. As I said in the video, he moves 2 seconds quicker from one side of the screen to the other than the C64 and the Spectrum version. So yeah, it really zips along. And when you do die, you kind of just want to go back and go again because you can get back to where you were so quickly. So yes, 18 out of 25 on playability. So that's a total score of 43 out of 100. And beating it by 1 point in 2nd place is the Spectrum version. Yep, 44 out of 100 for this one. Presentation, just a little bit better than the AMSTRAD version. You get a nice demo option in the main menu, which is quite nice. Graphically, I marked it the same. I think the Quasimodo character is better in the Spectrum version. He's quite a big fella though, which I think does hinder playability somewhat. Some of the jumps and the rope swing stuff seem harder just because of the size of him. I don't know if it's because he's wearing high heels or what, but yeah, it's a little bit more tricky on the Spectrum. Sound, 8 out of 25. So we get Teddy Bear's Picnic at the start, but other than that, it's pretty basic, but better than the AMSTRAD version. And playability, I marked it 4 points lower than the AMSTRAD version at 14 out of 25, because it is just that bit more difficult to make some of the jumps. You have to be kind of pixel perfect almost, and sometimes you die needlessly when it's like, come on mate, really, I made that, and you don't. So 14 out of 25 for that, which means the winner of this episode of my 8-bit battle is the Commodore 64 with a whopping 55 out of 100. So yeah, presentation, 15 out of 25. I love the little intro where he skips along just like the arcade version. It runs really well. He skips along the bottom and then climbs up the wall. Brilliant. Graphically, this is the best version. I actually marked it 15 out of 25. I'm thinking maybe I should have even marked it a little bit up from that. The way that it scrolls between the levels, like the arcade version, is really nice. The jumping animation on Quasimodo is really nice as well. So yeah, over the other two, it's leaps and bounds above them. And sound, I mean, it's not brilliant sound for a Commodore 64 version, so I only gave it 10 out of 25. But the rendition of Teddy Bear's Picnic is really nice, and you get kind of swishes as the rope swing goes and splashes when he goes in the water, so much better sound than the other two. And playability, I marked it just above the Spectrum version on 15 out of 25, but not quite as playable as the Amstrad one. I think the Amstrad one was more fun to play, but this is kind of somewhere in the middle, and I would say it's probably closer to the arcade version than the other two, so you might think that's a little unfair to mark it less than the Amstrad version, but that's how I felt. But yeah, clear winner for me, the C64 version. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts. Which one did you prefer? Maybe some of you preferred the Amstrad version and hated the Commodore version, but please let me know how wrong I am in the comments. I'd love to know. And also your fond memories of this game. So that's it from me. I'll leave the scores as to where we're at currently with the tally on this series of episodes. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.